And good morning from north of the border. Not really, but in terms of the virtual world, we are at Rogers Center in Toronto, and we will have a game here for you for the Tenacious Baseball League version 2.0, the 2016 season. Playing all games super advanced in this, and with pitchers hitting. So Detroit at as you can see here, Detroit at 1-2 versus Toronto at 1-2. Both teams struggling here at the start of the season a bit. Detroit had trouble with Oakland. The Athletics took 2 of 3 at home to the Tigers, and they'll spend another series on the road here at Toronto, while the Blue Jays, they had a struggle against the Angels, and both teams had started out on the West Coast, and so they come back east. Detroit will have to wait. They will wait for another game, another series to be home. They will face the Mets in their next series at Comerica, but in this case, they will be at Toronto. Mike Pelfrey will start for Detroit on the mound, while Marco Estrada will get the nod. And I did not mark down the injury ratings for these guys, so bear with me for a moment. Okay, and let's see. And the hold ratings. So, okay, so we're ready to get going here. Almost, actually, we can turn this to the top. Sorry about my hair; it's a little. Hi, Tribe fan. I know it's. I didn't do it up too much. I should have brought a hat to the game, but and my glove, but let me zoom in here a bit. Let's see how that's probably a little too much, but I wanted it zoomed a little more. Let's see. Nice to be able to get the picture card in here as well. Let's see how this works out. Maybe just a little more. Maybe just a little more after that. Let's try that. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see the markings on the pitcher's card. Now we do need to check ballpark and weather, and since we're at Sky Dome, that should mean that weather effects should be minimal. This is a day game, so could be a little better with it maybe being a little warmer inside the dome here in May. 1 to 9 is good, and so that means it is good weather, good conditions here. So mark it over here in this column. That is going to be 9s on the singles and 12s on the home runs. Relatively symmetrical as far as how it plays out at Sky Dome, Rogers Center now, if we're going to use the technical term. All right, so as we get started here, we'll mention Anthony Goes. He had a 2-game injury so he is coming back from that, so he will start. The rest role for Detroit meant center field and third base. Justin Upton was in center field last game, and he rolled that he could play. And third base was Miguel Cabrera. He can play as well, but I decided to use both of them, but in a little different positions. Victor Martinez is going to get the day off. So I have this dilemma now that I'm using the pitchers hitting. AL, American League teams, they're going to have too many guys that the at bats are going to be more than the National League. They aren't really. They're built for American League rules. So I've got to juggle between, in the case of Detroit, Castellanos, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez. And so in this game, Victor Martinez loses out. He'll get the day off. I'll probably switch back and forth. What I'll do is I'll rotate in Victor Martinez and have Cabrera switch to third. And then there'll be games that Miguel Cabrera... actually, no, there won't. He does not have to sit out many. So Castellanos is sort of the low man on the totem pole. His at-bats and walks are at 439. So he'll probably sit more. So it'll be Kinsler, Iglesias, Cabrera, Martinez, J.D. Martinez, that is, Castellanos, James McCann behind the plate, Justin Upton in left field in this game. I'm going to zoom this out a bit more. There we go. Anthony Gose in center, and Mike Pelfrey, high statistician. Definitely a good morning because we got some strat going on. So against Estrada, right-hander, no record so far. Also, I guess what I could also give you here is this will be the games for May 5th, 2016. You can just take a look here before we get started. I figured I'd mention that. The fifth game, the fifth series does not get started until May 6th, and that is between the Marlins and the Athletics. Marlins needed an extra day for travel, so that's it. Hi, Mark Russell. So that's... I figured I would just give you the heads up about that. So Kinsler against Estrada, and we're underway, 5-11. So Estrada is a 1 injury, means 6-12 is his injury combination. But 5-11 against a righty will be a ground ball to first base. We're already starting in on the X chances. Seems like it's funny how there are games where you can go almost 5 innings without one, and then there are others where you just get them right off the bat. So that will be Edwin Encarnacion, 3E5. You can see that over here on the right side of the page. This is where the defensive ratings are for the opponent. So he's a 3E5. We roll all 4 dice. And a 320 is a G1, which means he gets to it, and an 11 on an E5 should not be a problem. And he is able to underhand that successfully to Estrada, covering for the out. Jose Iglesias. So both these teams 1 and 2, off to somewhat disappointing starts for them. Both teams solid throughout the season in 2016. 4-2 against a righty. Ballpark home run. Iglesias is only normal power against lefties. Estrada being a righty, that means he cannot hit a home run in the ballpark home run roll there. But he can roll. So as we said, 1-12, he can roll for a single in that case. And he does get a single. So with 1 out, we're not gonna run much here with Detroit. We probably won't run much with either team. Iglesias is one guy who could maybe with 2 outs do a little bit. Now the thing is that Toronto has to decide whether they're going to hold him on, and I think they will. Estrada, and so behind the plate is Josh Tolley, and so he's a +2 arm, and Estrada's a +1, as you can see on his card. So that means they almost have to hold guys that you wouldn't normally hold to keep them from trying to steal here, because he's going to go up to a 14, and so he's a 1-10, even if he gets a bad lead. Cabrera at the plate. 5-4. Fly ball to center field. This is going to be Anthony Gose, 1E7. So great range, not so great at catching it once he gets there. Let's see what happens. And a 5, so the 1-5, that is, it's good he's a 1 because that is an F2, which means he gets to it now. The 13 on the E7, that could be, but that's no problem either. He makes the catch, and F2 means that only a runner from third can advance on that. So JD Martinez. Tell you what, with 2 outs, now we're gonna let Martinez swing away here. Gonna play a little bit close to the vest. 1-6 strikes out, and so the top of the first ends with no score. And so Pelfrey will go out and get warmed up while we talk about the Toronto lineup. Now, they had a rest roll, which meant center field, catcher, and third base. Pilar and Pilar needed to be rolled. He rolled, said he could play. Josh Donaldson at third base, he's basically exempt from being rested ever. And let's see, Russell Martin, he did have to rest. So Josh Tolley gets the start, his first start of the season at catcher. So it'll be, I'm moving Pilar up to the top, to the leadoff hole. We'll see how that goes. Pilar, Goins, Donaldson, Saunders, Encarnacion, Bautista, Tulowitzki, Tolley, and Estrada. Was trying to decide whether to move a guy like Bautista up to the top of the order, and I just decided to try Pilar for a change and see how that works out. So, Pilar against Pelfrey. 4-8 against a righty, and the magic of the pitcher card, Pilar gets on with a single. And so now you have some speed, but -1 for hold because Pelfrey is a -1 and... Or wait, what did I say? Why did I say -1? It's -4. McCann is a -3 arm behind the plate, so that's -4. That's really going to... So, hold on a second. I need to...
I'm not talking to you.
Oh. Okay. All right, so... now here's an interesting situation where you could, so the Tigers are -4 with their combination here. They could potentially let Pilar get a good lead and make him decide whether he's going to go on a 1-12 chance and take a chance on getting thrown out. And I think they're going to do that. So that also means that Goins cannot get a C lead. So with nobody out, they're not going to tempt fate here. Actually, what they could do, though, is... we're going to go ahead and let Goins roll away. 6-7. Oh, and Pelfrey's a 2, which means 6-11 is his... And a 2 on the D20 means we have to check for whether it's a balk or a passed ball check, and that is a passed ball check. So a 1 for McCann, and so no passed ball. So we re-roll Goins' card, and the white die decided to lean, so that is an 11. 6 would be 1-11, foul out to third base. So Castellanos gets that. Josh Donaldson. 6-8 against a righty. And Josh Donaldson is going to get a base hit out of this at least. 1 or a 2 is a triple. It's a 3. So a single, and that advances Pilar to third base. Brings up Michael Saunders, lefty. Decided to try to alternate these guys and use a lefty in the cleanup spot. See how that works out. So first and third, 1 away. 6-5 against a lefty. Fly ball to left field. That will be and that's a B. That'll be a sacrifice. Hits it deep enough Upton has no chance to throw it home. He's going to throw it in behind to keep Donaldson at first, even though in terms of the game itself, that's always going to happen with the fly ball B. So 1-0 Toronto, the home team, takes the lead. Donaldson, they're not going to hold him on. He's going to try to get that lead. He needs a 3 when you add the D6s. And an 11 is the polar opposite of 3. So here we go. Encarnacion. 1 on the D20. So that is a potential wild pitch. Pelfrey 1-4. 12 means no wild pitch. And so we continue the at-bat without the 3-4. 3-4 and a ground ball to the shortstop. And Iglesias throws over to first. And that will be it. 1 run for Toronto. I heard an interesting name on the Stratomatic World Forum, group on Facebook today. For this guy, when you roll it after you get a guy on base, they call it the Havoc die, and I think that's the perfect name for it. I don't think that's official, but maybe it should be, because I feel like if you pay attention to the rolls that happen when you get a 1 or a 2 on that quote-unquote Havoc die, you'll see just how much havoc it can wreak. Because there are some excellent situations that get thwarted by that roll. So, also I had a question. If anybody, I don't know if the person who asked is watching. They asked about using stadium effects or ballpark effects in advanced mode. I think you could do that. It's not going to be. I mean, I think Stratomatic would say it's not going to be accurate. It's going to reduce the accuracy of your statistics, because they probably have certain things factored in and out based on those ballpark effects in super advanced versus in advanced. They probably try to tweak things in a way that help evolve the right statistics without having ballparks included. But you can try it. I mean, it's your game. You can basically do what you want, I would say. I would encourage you to do what you want. It's for fun. And if you're having fun doing it, then what's the harm? Unless you want complete statistical accuracy, then I would probably recommend you stick to their rules. So Castellanos will lead off here. And a 3-6, he will get a single and a pretty good chance at a double here. And he does. That's a nice leadoff response for Castellanos, getting the start, trying to get some time from Victor Martinez. James McCann, not so good against righties as he is lefties, but let's see what happens. 1-5, strikes out. Second strikeout for Estrada. Justin Upton. And that is a 2-8 and a 1 on the D20. So we'll see how that works out for Toronto. That would have been the second out. A wild pitch for Estrada, 1-for-6. No wild pitch. But let's see if Upton in the second chance gets a better swing at this one. 2-6. Well, same one. Strikes him out. 3 for Estrada now. And brings up Anthony Goes. Goes won't play too long in this league. He gets shipped out in a 4 on the D20. 5-4 against a lefty. Fly ball to center field. But Kevin Pillar is a 1-7 again. The 1 is fine. Let's see. And let's see, the E7 and a 13. I think that was what we had last time, too. No error. That will be the final out. So they waste the leadoff double by Castellanos, and it's still 1-0 Toronto. Mark Russell says he doesn't usually use the D20 for that reason. Yeah, I mean, as far as rolling the extra, those extra wild pitches and passed ball chances and balks and such. To each their own. I think it adds some interest. It keeps you alert. You have to pay attention, but it can also be frustrating if you're rooting for something in particular. 1-4 ground ball to Castellanos, and he throws over to first. Makes the play for the out. Tulowitzki against a righty, 5-3 fly ball to right field. That's going to be JD Martinez. Not such good range for E4. 4-10. And that is going to fall in for a single. And you got a 16 on the E. Actually, it's not 4E4. It's 4E8. Excuse me. 4E8. And so the E8 and 16. So a single and a one base error. So it falls in, and then JD boots it a bit there. E9. So the Blue Jays are back in business. Josh Tolley. And because we don't use DH in this league, that's going to mean the strategy with the guys like Tolley here, who you might think about bunting with in real life. Let's see, Tulowitzki, his chances of stealing are pretty small. 2-2. Boy, if it were a 3-2, that would be another story. But 2-2, ground ball to pitcher. So that'll be the second out. And Pelfrey will see his way out of this inning if he can get Estrada, who is the pitcher's hitting card number 1. So he's hoping for a 1, 2, or 3 here. 2-10 would be bad, but 1, 2, or 3. And he gets it. 2-6 is a strikeout. And the error by Martinez doesn't hurt Tigers. We'll go to the third. Let's see, what do we got here? Hi, Al, Red Sox fan. How are you doing? Glad to have you here for the early morning. Well, it's not that early anymore, but the morning coffee. It's kind of like breakfast at Wimbledon, except I'm not talking like a Brit. So, Pelfrey, 5-5. Ground ball to short. Pelfrey is hitting from the right, correct? Yes. So, to short, that is Tulowitzki, 2E12. 2 and a 2. That's going to be a single, I believe. That is a single, and 7 with the E17. Or E12, sorry. I keep looking at the wrong place. 12 and a 7. Yeah, no, that's not an error. But a single, and Pelfrey, who probably hit under 100, I would imagine, for his relatively few appearances at the plate for Toronto. He gets or for Detroit. Sorry, I'm getting all confused here. Kinsler, swing away here. 1 on the D20, potential wild pitch. 1-6, no wild pitch. Re-roll again. 3-11, and that's a tall pop-up into foul territory. Donaldson gets to that, and that'll be the first out. Jose Iglesias. 4-10 against a righty. Catcher X. That is Tolley, 3E1. 3-10. potential passed ball. And let's just see, E1 and 13, not an error. So we gotta take Estrada's wild pitch rating and see if there's a passed ball. Otherwise, if not, it'll be a pop out or a foul out to the catcher. That's what it is. Foul out to Tolle. He gets it 2 down. Here is Miguel Cabrera. 2 outs. That is a 4-6 against a righty. Chance at a double, which you could think about trying to score Pelfrey there. 1-13, and it will not be a double. That'll be a fly ball that Pilar gets to, and Cabrera flies out twice so far to Pilar. But that will end the inning. So the leadoff knock by Pelfrey goes to waste. Hope that I'm glad you think this is better than breakfast at Wim. I am well. Things are good. I feel rested. I feel ready to tackle at least a couple games today, maybe more. We'll see. They won't all be online because it expedites things if I don't do them online, all of them, but it's nice to put a couple here. Kevin Pilar singled and scored the only run so far, 6-11. And that is Pelfrey's bugaboo roll. That'll be a ground ball to third. And the out is made, but now we have to check for injury. Could sideline Pelfrey. We'll see here. His innings pitched 119 on the season. It goes by starts. He had 22 starts, so he could have up to a 30-game injury. And it's a 12, so a 12 is 9 games. So he is going to have to come out here. And that'll necessitate a pitching change. I know that's not everybody's favorite thing in the world, but I need to take a look here at who has pitched recently for the Tigers and who is available. Buck Farmer did not pitch much last game, so he would be the obvious guy who would come in here. So that's who we will grab. So Buck Farmer, I think he actually got the loss in their most recent game. He will come in for Pelfrey. And let's see, he will hit in the pitcher hole, and he will go ahead and hit for himself if he has to. He's a righty who hits from the left side. How about that? All right, so that's that. Pilar retired, but and so let's see, Buck Farmer +3 and -3, so he'll be a net 0. And his, actually, I should be able to find it here. Yeah, he's a 1 injury. So that's 6-12. Hopefully we don't see that, but you never know. Ryan Goins, 1-6, and that's a ground ball to Farmer. Has to be on the ball right off the bat. Dribbles one back to him, and he gets it, makes the play. Josh Donaldson, 2-4. 2-4, and look at that. So he brings some rain with this one. This one's long, and it is gone. Takes Buck Farmer deep right off the bat, and Josh Donaldson makes it 2-0 with a solo home run. And Michael Saunders, 2 outs, 1 across, 1-5. Chance at a single. 1-8, it will not be. It'll be a ground ball to Cabrera. Takes it to the bag, but they add another run. Bad time for Buck Farmer to come in the game. He gets rocked on a hitter card roll. So, going to the fourth, Estrada has a relatively nice game going here, 2-0. He has given up 3 hits, so it's not like they've been. He's been immune to the base hit, but he scattered them 1 each inning. J.D. Martinez 2-6, and a very, very small chance at a single here. Needs a 1 or a 2, and he does not get it. Donaldson, Mr. Homer, throws over to first, and catch made by Encarnacion. Castellanos, 1-5. 1-5 is a single. Knocks it through the hole. Another hit off of Estrada. See if Detroit can make it pay this time. Castellanos, they won't hold him on. Not a very good runner. Though with a +3, 1-16. He's going to try to get that lead. A 12 would be a disaster, but he'll try to get a lead with a 4. Since they're not holding him on. It's a 9, so. Now Estrada totally being a +3, it would make it 1-8. With 2 outs, we might send him. We'll see. So James McCann, 1 on the D20 means potential wild pitch. Still haven't gotten one. 4-8 against a righty. Draws a walk. That's going to move Castellanos into scoring position. First and second, 1 out. Justin Upton struck out in the second inning. 0 for 1. Looking to maybe get this game back into focus here. 2-7, but he strikes out, and that'll be out number 2. Anthony goes. He'd sure love to hit that 2 column in a high number, but we'll see what happens. The lefty at the plate against the righty at Estrada. He gets a 5-7 against a lefty. Ground ball to second base. Unless Goins makes an error, this will be the end of the inning. He's an E15, but he's a 1 range and a 1-3. They were not holding either runner on, so 3 on a 1. That is a G2, but with a G2 with a hashtag, but they're not holding the runners on, so the hashtag is okay. If you're holding runners or the infield's in, the hashtag turns into a single. But it's a G2, but now we got the E15, and 6 and 10 is 16. So E15 and 16, and he just barely gets 15. You got 14, 17, and 18 there, but not 16. So Goins makes the play, and Toronto skating by the skin of their teeth right there. And good thing they didn't have to hold the runner on. If they did, I think they would have given up a run there. So going to the bottom of 4. Farmer will continue to pitch. He will be leading off the next inning. We have to decide whether we're going to leave him in there or not. Let's see. Great call on the home run early. Okay. Yeah, it did. He took it the long way home. Encarnacion, 2-8. 2-8, and that one is long, and that one is gone too. That went past the cow patch and into Lake Ontario. I don't know if Skydome is situated in a way that would do that. If not, it's halfway to the oil sands up in Edmonton or whatever. Home run Encarnacion. He goes deep, and it is now 3-0. Blue Jays on top here. Bucking Buck Farmer here. Bautista. And a 1-5, he strikes out 0 for 2. Decided to move him down. His on-base percentage is still great, but look at that average. Average is pretty weak sauce last year. I guess he's getting a little older. Tulowitzki, 6'5". 6'5" against a righty. Another strikeout for Farmer. At farmersonly.com. Sorry. I apologize for that horrible rendition of a horrible commercial. But 6'8", and apologies to anybody who uses farmersonly.com. But ground ball to second base. This will be Kinsler 1E10. And I think that will be just fine. The 8's the only problem. 8, second base, 10 and an 8 is no issue at all. So another run on the board for the Blue Jays. They are liking their home cooking, their poutine and all that stuff. All the way to Barry. There you go. Got some good commentary here from Mark Russell and Al, Red Sox fan. It's too bad you won't see the comments, but yeah, it's they're definitely. I think that last one may have found the cow patties out there, or should I say the Joe West? Speaking of Cowboys and all that stuff, but not to insinuate Joe West is any kind of a poor umpire. Well, let's see. This is the 5th inning. Hate to give them an automatic out here when they need runs, but I think they're going to want. Let's see. Farmer, he goes 2/3 of an inning, 1 2/3. I think they're going to want him to go another time here, so he's going to go up here 6-5. Lefty 1-8 would. How about that? 1-8 would be a single for Farmer. Weak hitter. And how about that? He gets a single off of Estrada. Pitchers both times have gotten singles, so I should probably write this. I'm going to write this now. Let's go ahead, since he's hitting. Which inning did he come in? That was the 3rd inning. And he is going to be a 10, I'm sure. Let me double check the list here. Yep. So, how about that? A single. Can Detroit ride their pitchers hitting? The pitchers are 2 for 2. Kinsler. And I thought about hitting and running, but then you got that quote-unquote havoc die with a 2 on it, so we need to check to see if that is... That's a 6 potential wild pitch. Is Estrada finally going to get burned by one here? But it's a 17. It stayed up on the ledge, so he does not. So we re-roll them all. 3-9. 3-9. And he strikes out. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts for Estrada. Jose Iglesias. 3-5. Ground ball to shortstop. It looks like that could be a 2-ball there. Tulowitzki throws to Goins, and in time beats out Iglesias running there, and that will end the top of the 5th. Detroit having trouble stringing hits here. They've only had one runner. They've had 2 runners reach scoring position. so Farmer will go back. They even get a timely hit from their relief pitcher and still can't seem to take advantage of that. So Estrada will lead off. And by the way, if you were wondering, like I said, so I looked at the left side of Estrada's card because Farmer is a left-handed hitter. So 5'8". Estrada is a righty, 5'8", and guess what? Estrada with a double. Wow, he's going to roll into second base, and who needs pinch hitters, eh? Kevin Pillar. They're not holding Estrada on. He could go up there trying to bunt. They're going to try to squeeze out another run here. They're going to try and small ball another run out of this situation. So he's going to bunt. B bunter. They're not expecting it. B5. Sacrifice. Moves the runner up. That'll be a 2-3. There should be another. I should figure out a way to roll the D20 based on the bunting rating for the player to decide whether or not they're going to expect it or not, or whether they play corners in or whatever. But because you might say that they might have expected him to bunt there, but I don't know. So Ryan Goins with one out, 2-5. 2-5, and how about that? That is going to be a double for Goins. That's going to score the run. They didn't need to give away the out there so cheaply. That will score. It's 4-0 now, and they're going to ride Farmer, but let's see if Donaldson's already taken him deep. And a 2 on the D20 means we have to check to see if it's passed ball or balk, and that would be passed ball. Passed ball is 1. No passed ball. 6-4 against a righty. Fly ball to center field. Fly ball to center field. That is goes. He's a 3E5. 20 is fine. Hold on, I'm getting some texts here, so that's why I'm seeming a little. It's tough to do that when you're getting texts. So it's an F3. That means it's shallow and nobody will be able to advance. And then the 6 on the E5, or 7 on the E5. No, wait, what am I saying? 6, 7, 8. And so no error. Ghost makes the play. Now Michael Saunders, he has an RBI. On a sac fly. 410 against a lefty, and a fly ball to left field. And so Farmer only issues the 1 run. So, but it's still 4-0, and it's kind of getting late here. The Tigers are going to have to start stringing some hits together, and with Estrada pitching the way he is, it's tough to see it. He's been pretty economical. He can go at least another inning. And Cabrera will lead off. This is a guy who could start at 1-9, but it's been that kind of start for the Tigers. 6-3 as Tulowitzki throws over to first. That is the first out. JD Martinez. 6-7 against a righty. He does get a walk there. Brings up Castellanos, who is 2 for 2. single and a double. Could he add to that with something even better? Try to claw into this lead a bit. 4-8. Another walk, and so here in the 6th, starting to see Estrada show some cracks. James McCann, 2 on, 1 out. See how much longer the Blue Jays will give Estrada the chance. But McCann not. He has trouble against righties. 3-6. Fly ball to left field. That will not be able to advance any runner as Saunders gets it. That's the 2nd out. And Justin Upton now. 2 on and 2 out. 3-7. Ground ball to second base, and they are getting snake bitten here. Goins throws to first, and again, they get base runners and can't move them along at all. On the bottom of the 6th, and Farmer is in his 3rd inning. Let's see. Hi, Utah Mike. How you doing? So we'll reset the score here. 4-0. Toronto defeating the Tigers so far. Couple solo home runs from Josh Donaldson, Edwin Encarnacion. Sac fly in the 1st from Saunders got the 1st run on the board. And then those 2 solo home runs, as I said. And then a double. 2 doubles strung together, including Marco Estrada being one of them. He scores. And let's see. I think they are going to go to their bullpen here and make a change so it won't be Farmers only. And because all these guys are 1-inning pitchers, I think we're going to, let's see, who pitched last game for Justin Wilson? He can't, no, he's done 2 in a row, so he can't pitch again for another game. Who's coming up? Encarnacion, Bautista. So righties. Going to go with Mark Lowe. So he'll only pitch an inning because the pitcher spot is coming up in the top of the 7th. But we're going to just use him for a single inning at most. Mark Lowe. Couple of McCann, they're great at holding runners on. Injury-wise, Lowe is a 1. So, we'll put him in the 9 hole and go ahead and pinch hit for him when it's time. Edwin Encarnacion. 5-6 against a righty, and oh boy, Encarnacion will get his 2nd hit of the day, and it's going to be a double, no triples for him, and so, and it being in Toronto, it especially makes me decide that I'm just going to call it a double. Should have just done that right off the bat, but I don't know. The thing is, it's gonna skew Mark Lowe's distribution if I don't call it a triple, but I can live with that. Jose Bautista, Joey Bats, 2-7, strikes out. He is 0 for 3. Tulo. 2-2. Fly ball to center field deep. Going back on that as goes. He makes the play. Encarnacion lumbers his way over to third base. Plodding along. Then it'll be Tolley. They're going to intentionally walk Tully to try and give them a decision about whether they're going to pinch hit for Estrada. And so they will keep Estrada in the game. So first and third, 2 outs. And the pitcher's card, or the hitter's card rule means a 2-11. Boy, just missed a walk. Ground ball to second base. That would have been trouble if he'd hit a 2-10. Then you got Pilar coming up with the bases loaded. But Lowe does survive that. Of course, if I had said it was a triple and Toronto would have gotten another run on this, it would have been a sacrifice fly for Tulowitzki. So maybe that's not so fair. I'm usually a rules guy, but that, I don't know. Just tough to see Encarnacion getting a triple, especially since he didn't get any in real life. Goes will lead off, followed by the pitcher spot. 110. Ballpark single. We've had very few ballpark chances. Lefty is a 9. And he gets it. So the pitcher spot, and Detroit will look to their bench here. And with it 4-0, they're gonna go for the big dog here and have Victor Martinez come in and try to kickstart this guy along here a bit. Top of the 7th. So the 27th batter faced for Estrada. This is going to be his last inning. Victor Martinez. And it's a 4-8. 14 on the D20. 4-8. Against a lefty. A walk. So this, I think I've seen this act before for the Tigers. Thus far, it has led to little joy in Mudville. But Ian Kinsler. Now, what you could do is you could think about trying to move the runners along here with a bunt, but you hate wasting it out, especially when Kinsler has some good spots there. Let's see. 2-9. Oh, boy. Oh, my word. Talk about havoc die. Look at that. If it's not helping the home team, I don't know what is. 2-9. Could have been a triple. Would have at least scored 1 run, but you get a 2 on the D20 and it all is lost. See if it's a balk, and it's a balk roll. It's like the most... that's demoralizing for the Tigers fans out there. 4-8 against a righty and another walk. And so now, and actually we had already reached Estrada's point of weakness, and that is going to be it for him. Yeah, you can't let an inning get started like that. Maybe should have pinch hit for him last time with a runner at third, seeing that. So, all right, we gotta make a change. Maybe a little key learning there for myself and for others that when you're on the edge, it might be a good time to think about making that sub. So Grilly is unavailable. The 7th. They will go. They're going to go with Jesse Chavez here. And he is going to face Iglesias. So bases are loaded, nobody out. I don't know, maybe we should have gone with a better pitcher. I don't know. They're American League pitchers, so they're going to have a little bit more ERA in general. So Iglesias, bases loaded against Chavez. That is a 6-4 against a righty. That is a ballpark single chance. 1-9. And it's an 11. That'll be a line out to short. And that's a big first out for Chavez. Here comes Miguel Cabrera. Can Cabrera make him pay? $210, and how about that? They were playing back, and that is going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn. Inning over as Miguel Cabrera grounds into the double play. And let me clean that up. I hate looking at messy sheet. And Cabrera, 0-for-4, is having a really bad outing here today. And Martinez, who drew a walk, he gets stranded at second. They get the first 3 runners on and can't do anything about it. So let's see. They're going to... Let's see. So Lowe is done. Who's coming up? They've got Pilar, Goins, and they're going to go with Drew Verhagen. And let's see. Hold on a second. I forgot to mark down my... So Pelfrey, I also forgot to mark down an away Pelfrey 9-game injury. He pitched 2 1/3 innings. 10 batters. Then Buck Farmer went 1 2 2/3. Mark Lowe went 1 inning. It's now Verhagen. Just go ahead and put him in Martinez's spot. Pitcher spot, that is. Not Martinez's spot. Never was. He was just a placeholder. All right, so Verhagen coming on. Going to try and get an inning out of him maybe, and then if they get to that spot, they'll pinch hit for him. Pilar, top of the order. Top of the 7th. Or, excuse me, bottom of the 7th. Against Verhagen. 1-7. A ground ball to shortstop. Iglesias. To Cabrera for the first out. Could have used Victor Martinez at first and done the double switch since Cabrera made the last out. But Ryan Goins, 4-5 against a lefty. Ground ball to second base, A. So that's Ian Kinsler, and he makes the play for the second out. Josh Donaldson, 2 for 3, home run, single. Can he get a hold of another one? 3-7. And that's a ground ball to short, and that is going to be it. Good inning for Verhagen. No runs, no hits, no errors. And the Jays will go back to the pen here. They're going to bring in Biagini. And again, I didn't do this, so Chavez went 1 inning. 2 batters faced. How about that? Hold on, my chat screen went off. I haven't been looking much at it. I apologize for that. So 28, and he goes 6 innings. So Biagini will hit there, and definitely he is going to hit there because they would love this. They're only going to use him for an inning, potentially. I guess they could, in theory, use him for 2. Let's see, Biagini, he was out last game because he had been overused, but he can go 2 innings this game if necessary. It's not a safe situation. So Biagini for the 8th, and if worst comes to worst, Asuna is available. And as I hear my sump pump working, JD Martinez against Joe Biagini, 3-5, and there is a good start for the Tigers. A 1 would be a home run. It's a 7. That'll be a double for JD. And potentially in business here, Castellanos. No chance of him doing any small ball here. He's looking for the yard. 3-7, and he strikes out. That is a cruel roll. Some great opportunities there between the two, but Biagini gets the better of him. James McCann, 2-9, another strikeout for Biagini. That brings up Justin Upton, unless they decide that they're going to go to someone else here. They're gonna pinch hit for Upton here with Tyler Collins, lefty. This is the 8th, so he'll come in and play left if necessary here. But I feel like they got to juice it along here, and Upton is not. Doesn't have. He's let's see, what is he? He is 0 for 3 so far, and they'd love to get that 2 column here. But it's 3-7. 3-7 is another strikeout. Nobody immune to Biagini besides Martinez there. Leadoff double goes to waste yet again. Castellanos and now Martinez both had that happen. And we're going to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 4-0. They may stick with Biagini. He didn't have to work very hard at all. And the Tigers will stay with Verhagen since the pitcher spot did not come up. Yeah, we've had bad weather all day today. They canceled soccer for my kid today, so they canceled it yesterday actually. So bottom of the 8th, Saunders to lead off. He is 0 for 2 with a sac fly, 3-9, and he strikes out. So not much life there from the cleanup spot today, but they haven't needed it so far. Edwin Encarnacion has done a lot of damage. Double and a home run. A couple RBIs. Actually, one RBI. 6-5. Ground ball to ground ball A with a that is a dot. I'm pretty sure that's the dot roll. I don't know which. Let me see. I'm gonna say a ground ball to shortstop. Ground ball to shortstop A with a dot, which means that it's just gonna be 6-3. That'll be the second out. Since it's to a righty, I would assume to a lefty you would get... that's third base. There's third base. That's a strikeout. I don't know. A lefty, there's a second base one here. So I think we'll just go with that. So 2 down, Jose Bautista. 3-3. And Bautista is going to get on the board here with a base hit finally. An extra base hit, actually. That'll be a double. First batter to reach base against Verhagen. And here is Tulowitzki. Can he drive home Bautista? 5-4 against a righty catcher X. Catcher is McCann. 2-2. And a rare play. 2-14. Foul out, but then a rare play with a runner on first base. No run on foul territory. Catcher gets... Okay, so there's no runner on first here. With no runner on first, the batter hits a pop-up into foul territory, and the catcher gets to the railing just as a fan reaches out and deflects the ball. The umpire rules that the batter is out on fan interference. So we'll call it F2 fan interference. And that's the third out. So there's your rare play for the day. Fun. It's really exciting. So they will go with Biagini here. It'll be Gose, then pinch hitter, and then the top of the order, Kinsler. So top of the 9th, 4-0. Tigers need some base runners. 4-8 against a lefty single. So maybe a little something to start there. They're going to bring in Mike Aviles. Maybe it's Aviles. So 9D. So it becomes a save situation when you get the tying run on deck. So it would take 2 more base runners. So they'll keep Biagini in here for the moment against Aviles. and a 2 on the D20. Check for balk, or yeah, it'll have to be balk check, and there's no balk rating, so no balk possible. 6-7. Biagini a 1, so 1 injury, so no problem there. 6-7 against a righty, ground ball to second base. This could be a two out proposition here. 1E15 for Ryan Goins. 1-6. G1. So unless there's an error, that will be a twin killing. 9 on the E15 at second base, and that's exactly what it is. That is a 4.63 Hope Drainer. And now with 2 outs, Biagini sees his way to the handshakes. Here is Ian Kinsler. 4-12 against a righty. Ground ball to Biagini. 3E43. Chance of an error here, maybe. 14 and 13 are the totals. So 3 and 14. G2. Now the question is a 13 on an E43. And that is an error. Error on Biagini, and it's going to bring up Jose Iglesias. Still alive are the Tigers, and there's 3-9. 3-9. That's a ground ball to short. This will be no doubt. He's going to take it to second, and the ball game is over. Toronto Blue Jays are victorious. They shut out the Detroit Tigers by a score of 4-0 here on this nice sunny day in Toronto when they have the roof is closed anyway, so maybe it's not closed. Maybe that's why it's was it good? I think it was good. But anyway, so your winner will be Marco Estrada. Loser, Mike Pelfrey. He gets injured, 9 games. They're going to have to look to this. This may be the point where they bring in Michael Fulmer, who ends up winning Rookie of the Year for the Tigers. But Shane Green will get the next start for the Tigers in this series. And then we'll take a look and see who makes the next start when Pelfrey's spot comes up. It may be Fulmer. He eventually he becomes a rock in their rotation. But Detroit goes to 1-3. Toronto levels off their record at 2-2, and so we will have some other games on this game day. I just don't know how many are going to be online. So let me just check the comments before I sign off. Yeah, Bartman. Bartman made a trip up to Skydome, and Cubs should have turned double play. And yeah, that I guess they don't have to worry about that anymore. They've exorcised the demons, and now they don't have to worry about it so much. They can go about their business and not be just like Boston ended up having the whole Bill Buckner situation kind of vanish from their legacy because of their championships here recently. So it's good to see. I'd love to see my Buffalo Bills have a chance to set aside the disappointments in the Super Bowls and be able to get 1 or 2. And I'll even just take 1 at this point. But obviously, I would take 1 at this point. But we got to see how that works out. But all right, I'm going to sign off here. Thanks for watching, everybody. You're welcome, Al. check us out. This is Tabletop Baseball. So we have a Facebook page, Tabletop Baseball. If you have questions, ask them there. You can ask them in the comments here too. I appreciate any likes of the video. And if you want all of the latest videos to be announced to you as they're happening, because we live stream just about everything here. Not only subscribe to the channel, but set up notifications. It'll pop right up there saying Tabletop Baseball is live. And you'll not only get the games that I play, but you'll get the games that Tabletop Earl plays. He's the guy who started this channel, but we've joined forces here to try and help provide lots of content for people to watch who are Strat lovers, who are ATBA lovers, who are whether it's Payoff Pitch, History Maker, Status Pro. I know I'm missing another one in there. I guess there's even Replay. I think we also have some other little things in the works, maybe even as far as some other types of projects. So we appreciate you guys. So if you guys like that and want to find out when we're on the air live, if you're watching after the fact and don't ever get a chance to see when we're on live, that's the way to do it. Subscribe to the channel and set your notifications that it tells you when something is brewing here, and we will be on your TV screen, on your phone, on your tablet, wherever, on your PC. And so we just appreciate making these videos. These projects are our passion, both for ourselves, but also I hope that it gives you guys stuff to pass your time, to entertain you, and maybe even to give you some ideas so that in the future you can use them for your projects or whatever. So, and if you ever have comments, like I said, the Facebook page, if you want to talk about your ideas, your questions, all that stuff, there's no better place to do it in this game day regardless. So just stay tuned and strat on.